Anchi, and today I'm going to share a mythological story with you all. You see, I also have interests in mythological stories, and my grandmother used to tell me these types of stories from my childhood, since I was a child. This story's name is Shakuntala, and I hope you like it. Let's begin. Shakuntala was a beautiful maiden and was the adopted daughter of the sage Kanwa. She was very beautiful and lived in sage Kanwa's hermitage with her pet deer. So once the king of Hastinapur, King Dushyanta, came hunting to the forest. As he was looking around for animals, he saw Shakuntala's beautiful, sweet, cute pet deer. It was so beautiful, and Dushyanta shot an arrow at it. Shakuntala found her pet deer whimpering in pain. She felt sorry for the animal and tended to it. Dushyanta realized Shakuntala's love for the animals in the forest and the animals around her. He realized this and immediately asked Shakuntala to forgive him for his cruelty. Shakuntala forgave him, but told him that he had to stay with the pet deer with her also and tend to it until it recovered and then return to his kingdom. Dushyanta agreed, and then he also started living there for a few days and took care of the pet deer, tended to it. So when the pet deer recovered, Dushyanta decided to go back to his kingdom. But do you know what happened in the middle? Shakuntala and Dushyanta both fell in love with each other and they both got married. And Dushyanta also gave Shakuntala a ring with his name on it. On the ring, Dushyanta's name was spelled. And then when returning back to his kingdom, he promised Shakuntala that he would return and take her back with him to his kingdom, to Hastinapur. So he left, promising her, and then Shakuntala started waiting for Dushyanta. So after a few days, when Dushyanta hadn't come, she was waiting for him, and then Sage Durvasa, that day, he came to Shakuntala's hermitage, where she was living, the hermitage in which she was living, and he repeatedly asked for water. Repeatedly, but Shakuntala didn't even pay attention to him. She was just busy thinking about Dushyanta, and the sage, who was known for his temper, you see, Durvasa was a very, very, very angry sage. He was so angry, he felt insulted and cursed Shakuntala, saying that the person she was thinking about would forget her completely. Hearing this, Shakuntala was frightened and begged the sage to forgive her. The sage forgave her, but told her that he couldn't take back the curse, but he could change it. He told that the person she was thinking about would recognize her again if she would give him a thing that he had given her. Dushyanta had given Shakuntala the ring, so she decided to wait. And Dushyanta came back. She would show him the ring, find him and show him the ring. She waited for days and days, but Dushyanta didn't come back. He had forgotten the promise he had made to Shakuntala that he would return and take her back with him. He had forgotten all of it. So Shakuntala decided to go to the capital to meet Dushyanta by herself. She took the ring with her, which she didn't forget, and decided to go. On her way to Hastinapur, Shakuntala, as she was crossing a river, the ring that Dushyanta had given her accidentally fell out of her hand and fell into the river. And a fish swallowed it. It was lost now. The ring was lost. Shakuntala still went to the capital, and then Dushyanta, of course, didn't realize her. He just forgot. He forgot it, and he didn't realize her. He couldn't recognize her. He asked her to prove her identity. Shakuntala was upset. She wept, she cried, and told the king about the time he had spent with her in the forest, but the curse still didn't break. Dushyanta still couldn't recognize her. Feeling sad, she came out of the palace, and she was ashamed to go to her father's hermitage. She was too ashamed, so she decided to go to another part of the forest and lived there alone, all by herself. There she gave birth to a son. The son's name was Bertha. She named him Bertha, and Bertha grew up among the wild animals in the forest. He used to play with them, He was a brave little boy and used to play with the wild animals in the forest. So, one day in Hastinapur, back in there, a fisherman came to the king's palace. He told the king that he had caught a fish and found a ring with his name on it. When the fisherman read the name Dushyanta, he immediately brought it to the king. He immediately bought it to the king, and when the king saw the ring, the curse broke. He remembered Shakuntala was upset and hurried up for the hermitage. Sage-Kund was hermitage, but he couldn't find her because Shakuntala was living in another area. As I told you, he was upset and went back to Hastinapur. A few years later, Dushyanta went hunting again to the forest. But this time, he was going to another, the part of the forest where Shakuntala was living in. And as he was looking around for animals again, he saw Bharata. He was playing with a lion cub. The king was just so surprised to see Bharata fearlessly opening the lion cub's mouth, the wild lion cub's mouth, and told, "Oh, king of the jungle, open your mouth so I can count your teeth." Bharata wanted to count the teeth of the lion cub. The king was surprised, and he asked Bharata who his parents were. And Bharata replied, "King Dushyanta and Shakuntala." King was very happy that he had found Shakuntala at last. And then he told Bharata to take him to his mother. Bharata took him to Shakuntala, and he took Shakuntala and Bharata back to Hastinapur, and the family was united, and Bharata made a great king. And our India is named after him, Bharat. So, see you next time. Bye! With another mythological story. Love you all!